Hunting with a buddy, we both went up on a ridge to make camp. I think the ridge is actually called Black Hills Ridge. We sat there and made a campfire, watching the surrounding areas. Suddenly, about 1 mile away, a flare pops off. We watch it fly up slowly and float for a minute, as it illuminated in an orange glow. About 750 yards away, a green one flies up. We watch this, perplexed. About 200 meters in front of it, a white flare goes up, followed by a yellow one. We yell down to where it was, asking if they needed help. No response, so we popped a green flare. We carried them all the time, a lot of people do around here. The flares fall, and then something freaked us out. We heard a whizzing sound, and some rocks exploded. We fell to behind an overhand and waited all night in security shifts. In the morning, we went to the flare positions. In one, we found 12 spent casings of 270, and one in .45 ACP in another, a fire pit and rucksack. In the third one, a single magazine from what I assume was a PSL and no casings. The third was only a fire, and the spent case from the flare. I think that some people were hunting one another.
Anything in the rucksack?
One magazine in .22 LR. 15 to 25 rounds of 7.62 and strip clips. 2 rolls of Gauss. 12 ounces of alcohol. 10 band-aids. 1 flint piece. 18 ounces of water. 1 Leatherman multi-tool. 1 6-inch knife. And tape.
2 rolls Gauss. 10 band-aids. Alcohol. Tape. Multi-tool. You found human hunters, I think. That's a good DIY field dress for a bullet wound, just cauterize it. You're lucky.
Nice haul. Ever identify the magazine? Also 7.62 by 39?
Ruger Mark III yes, X39. I only took the knife, tool mag, and ammunition.
Did you take anything? Also, were there any tracks or signs of struggling around the sites?
Size 12 boots, Magnum Recon 2s. I wear the same size, 13, and I recognize the pattern. Bullets in the trees from a center for, what I think was probably 270 because of the impact force, big hole, deep penetration. I think player 4 won. I found nothing indicating he lost or won, but I'm assuming he actually used a bow, as I found only 3 ammunition types. Human hunters are people whom gather in groups and hunt one another. The largest I have ever heard of was 42 people in 7 teams. Apparently, 34 people died. They use flares to designate the start, and, sadly, the flare colors they use were colors for lost, orange, medical attention needed, red, fire warning, yellow, and a response, green.
More on human hunters. Also, I think I'll post that to /x/now, as thinking about it has honestly unsettled me.
I second that. More on human hunters. Quick Google gave me this, from Wiki. Any legit info?
Following up from human hunters, I rediscovered these 2 maniacs. That really is all you can call people like this. Read what they did. Maniacs. Wait, did you see any blood or anything? I would think with people fighting that close in the dark there would be some blood stains.
I found drops here and there. I was carrying an AR and my friend a Phil. He had his full eased and ready the whole time, and his handgun, and .44, ready too. We were both spooked. The biggest blood spot was 2 inches in diameter, 16 to 19 inches from an ejected shell casing from a .270, 22 feet away was a boot track, and an impact in the tree 25 feet away. These are rough guesses.
Well fuck, I'm not going alone in the giant forests around my house anymore. This shit gives me the creeps.
That's fucking scary as hell, yet fascinating on a level I can't even comprehend. I want to know more about this kinda stuff. I can't believe people would decide to hunt each other for no reason other than they want to.
I don't understand the flares after the game starts. Red equals medical attention needed. Of course it's going to be needed, some fucks are shooting at you. Don't understand.
Oh, they use flares to signal the start. The colors happen to be a fuck up. Around here, there is so much area, hunters often use flares to signal. It's used via a color system. Red, medical. Green, response. Yellow, fire. Orange, lost. White, undesignated. They normally use white, but in this case, I thought people really needed help. Hence why I called out and sent a green up, but when I heard someone shoot, I said fuck that and we retreated to a defensive position where, if anyone came after us, we could drop them.
How do you know all about this human hunting? Do you participate?
No. It started as a rumor around here 7 years ago when I was a junior in high school. A sergeant told us that the woods we often go in has seen a large number of disappearances in recent times, his older brother included, and to be careful. 6 months later, 2 bodies were found with a crossbow bolt through one's chest, in the heart, and the other was found with a bullet in the skull. They had armbands, with black and hues in each of them, and they were well camouflaged. One was ID'd as the senior's older brother. He was around with a SKS carbine, bayonet fixed, with 1 round in the chamber, 3 missing from the magazine. Reports found blood on the bayonet. The other was ID'd as a man from Oklahoma. He was found with a WASR with an empty chamber, and a full magazine in his hand. He also had an empty airsoft canister of 2,000 BBs, with a wick inside it. It was filled with 6-ounce gunpowder, 15 small nails, and 200 steel BBs. It was a crude frag grenade. The bullet turned out to be a .30-40 from a Krog rifle. This is where the month became stronger. It was now more of a guess. My fucking face when this fucking thread. I'm a sheriff in Oregon near Mallard Lake. We've had 2 reports of manhunting. The first time I was 2 miles away from Ruby Ridge, there was reports of flares, gunfire, and yelling, me thinking it's a redneck shoot. I go in with M16A1. Fuck yeah, Vietnam patrol rifle, 210 rounds 223, Colt 1911 with 60 rounds. After the Gulf I'm anal about possible combat situations, Condon next post. So backup is 14 miles away and sitting near a cop car isn't the brightest idea. I go in now and all the commotion was the previous night at 10, so just now I go out because the guy who called it in was scared after hearing all this and called again. Near a stream I found a rucksack with 2 AK mags, gauze, 12 ounces of booze, 2 bottles of water, and a pack of reds. First red flag, then I saw 3 sets of footprints lead through a trail. They looked a day old. They lead to a campsite that was still warm. At the camp I found 5 243 shell casings, 8 9mm casings, a 26.5 orange flare, a flare casing, and a sign of a scuffle, dirt kicked around like a fist fight. At the top of Ruby Ridge I found a bloodied rag, 6 308 shell casings that look like they've been through a G3, and a note on a piece of lined paper that said, I won, in caps and horizontally. Finding all this in 30 minutes and the fact the fire was still warm, I was DEFCON 1. When 5 other guys got there we had detectives show up, everybody knew what happened. The most dangerous game had just been played. To this day the winner is still at large. The second time was the same motherfucking place when we got the call from an anonymous caller at 11 p.m. Our rudely formed SWAT team rolled out at 9 a.m. the next morning to steamroll those motherfuckers. When we showed up it was creepy as shit. There was sounds of people moving around, but nobody was around. I guess the winner from the last go-around wised up. There were 4 location of interests. The first was a lone 1911 magazine. The second was a wallet with only cash and nothing else, no ID. The third was blood, gray matter, and bits of skull splattered on trees. It came from a woman. Third was a man, obviously deranged. You know that 1,000-yard stare? He was just walking around with a 1911. When we asked him if he was alright he raised the handgun and we lit him up. The last one was the most chilling piece. There was another piece of paper next to a AR-15 mag. It read, "The answers lie with the spared man." This was the last sporting event. Goodbye. To this day I never trust these woods. From what I understand some people are willing participants. Nice the signal flares to set off the beginning of the match. It almost seemed like the first one was a coordinated consenting deathmatch. The second one was just plain weird, or we think the woman was collateral damage. Who knows who else died if most of the bodies weren't found.